Welcome back. I'm the Ink Archivist, here today to compare Lady in Rose Gold, the limited edition from 2021 from Ferris Press, and the Fluttering Heart, this year's limited edition for 2023. I hadn't pulled out my Lady in Rose Gold, which I bought at the DC Pen Show in 2021, for quite a while, so when I swatched out the Fluttering Heart, I thought they might be very similar. It was kind of bringing that memory back, so I wanted to play around with this and see if that was the case, especially since Lady in Rose Gold was such a popular ink. So I'll be doing some comparisons here, and I'll have a third contender entering later this video that I think is probably more apt. As always with Ferris Press inks, you have unique artwork on the boxes, and these two have different designs on the bottle, which I'll be showing up close in case you're curious what they looked like. So here is Lady in Rose Gold, which is characterized by a lot of flourishing lines on the front and some shooting stars, especially towards the bottom half of the bottle. The Fluttering Heart has a bunch of vertical lines going around the front, which remind me of the minute marks on a clock, and these are interrupted by flourishes of more detailed pattern. We'll be moving on to doing swatches of these two inks on Tomoe River, HP32, Rhodia, and Antiqua. I'll be starting off with this top row with the Fluttering Heart. Ferris Press describes the Fluttering Heart as a blushing pink with a champagne shimmer, but honestly, both of these inks lean so far brown or beige, it's kind of hard to even classify them as a pink. This color is also incredibly light, as you can tell, so you're not going to get a whole lot of contrast with that shimmer, so it's not going to pop out so much. But I honestly think that the gentle shimmer kind of fits the tone and mood of this ink very well. So next up is the Lady Rose in Gold, which was again the limited edition for 2021. And important to note, this was actually just a variant of Lady Rose, which is a regularly available ink with Ferris Press. So if you really like this ink and you don't mind missing out on the shimmer, you don't mind adding your own, or you actually think it's a benefit to not have shimmer, you can still basically get your hands on this ink. With regards to how these inks act on all of the different papers, I would say they're very well behaving. You didn't get feathering, bleed through, show through, which is probably to be expected considering they're not that dark or saturated. And with that lack of pigmentation or saturation, as you might expect, these are pretty heavy on the shading. Lady Rose in Gold gives the Fluttering Heart a run for its money, even though it's a much more darker, readable ink, as we'll get into on the writing sample later. And this property and the glitter is going to pop out a lot more on those more fountain pen friendly papers, like the Tomoe River paper especially, and the Rhodia to a lesser extent, followed by Antiqua and then the 32. And with the samples done, I will load them back into my little swab booklets, and that way if you liked any of these papers in particular with how it handled the ink, then you'll be able to know which one was which. And with that done, we'll be moving on to the writing samples, and I'll be starting with my Sailor Hokuro with a 2.0 stub nib for the titles. I actually heard someone say that these kind of like lighter, less saturated inks are really hard on glass dip pens or Hokuros like this, and that was good to know. I was wondering if it was me, but no, apparently this is just a bad combination, so that's why you see me really struggling, especially on that top line. I think I got the hang of it a little bit better as I was going. Now with the 2.0 and the zoom nib, that's laying down quite a lot of ink, as I'm sure you know, and it's still not exceptionally readable. So I've seen a few people already start to like art journal with these, and I think this ink looks fantastic for that. Like I've seen people, swatch it across a page and then put a quote on top of it with black ink, and I think that looks great. But if you want to write with an ink, I'm not sure this is going to give you the best experience unless you have a very, very broad nib. And then we'll be going back to the Lady Rose in Gold, and that's going to get the same treatment, the Hokuro 2.0 into the fine, into the Sakura Saijiki Sailor Pro Gear Slim with the zoom nib. And this is a much better reading experience. So for 2021, they took Lady Rose, which was and might still be, I couldn't find any further information, the most popular, regularly available Ferris wheel press ink. And they just put some gold shimmer in it. So again, like, you could use that ink as an alternative to this one, perhaps even Frankenstein that with your own gold shimmer and basically get the same effect as what you're getting here. So while I'm a little disappointed that Fluttering Heart is not an alternative to this, I think you can still figure out your way around it. So now I'm laying down some comparisons. So we got a swatch of the Lady Rose right next to the Fluttering Heart. And of course we had the swaps before, but I'm more getting these down to introduce the third and final contender on this comparison episode today, which is Robert Oster's Rose Gold Antiqua. Now, compared to the two inks, this looks pink. Capitalized, underlined, pink. Which is funny because if I look at this ink without these side by side, I don't really think of it as very pink at all. It's just that Lady Rose and the Fluttering Heart lean so heavy into like the beige category that it really stands out. And obviously this is going to be the most readable of the three. It is dark, it has a heavier contrast with that shimmer, so you're getting a cool effect with that. Its regular availability also doesn't hurt. So there's the final look at the writing. And now we'll have these swabs back with the finished writing on them. And I made one up for Rose Gold Antiqua as well so that you can get a comparison. And you can see it is kind of brighter, darker, and more pink than Lady Rose in Gold. So I hope this has been a helpful resource for you. I know a lot of people are probably disappointed that these two aren't closer and that Lady and Rose Gold isn't regularly available, but hopefully you can find an alternative or something that you enjoy. Perhaps you just want to not worry about chasing a limited edition ink and go after that Rose Gold Antiqua. But let me know what you think, and thank you for joining me today. Have a good one. Bye.